Hi there, and thanks again for watching another edition of I Deal with Neil News. Before we get started, I just wanted to remind everyone about our upcoming event, Come Cuisine with Us. It's coming up on June 12th. Again, it's in aid of the Women's Crisis Services of Waterloo Region, and we'll be having trivia as well as an appearance by Chef D, where he'll be going through a cooking course on, I believe, a dessert and an aperitif. So it should be a fun night. Please check out the details below, and yeah, certainly you can get tickets and or check out the online auction for various items that we're trying to take care of as far as fundraising. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me on this topic. Okay. From there, let's jump right into the market stats. As you can see below, the craziness continues. Maybe not quite to the same degree if you look at some of the stats, but certainly continued multiple offers, bidding wars, and that sort of thing. Certainly as we've hit the beginning of June, a new stress test has been introduced, mainly to cover off buyers for when interest rates eventually rise. I know when the initial stress test came out in 2017, there were concerns, about what would happen in the market and would the market fall off, and we've only had, unprecedented price increases over that time. So I know we're coming out of the lockdown here. Maybe there'll be a little bit more inventory with people who might be putting their homes on that wouldn't have during the lockdown. And maybe in the combination of both those things, we may see a little bit of difference, but who really knows? I doubt we're going to see much of a change in the market. The stats certainly, if you look down below, bear out minor changes really. In May, we had 854 units sold, which is actually almost 200 units above the previous 10-year average for sales, so that's crazy in itself. Overall, the average sale price for all units was at $740,000 for May, down about 2.4% relative to April. So not a huge change there, but who knows? That could be a thing to come where the prices do decrease a little bit. But again, I don't see anything substantial coming until we substantially increase our inventory. The single detached homes were at 869,000 for May. Again, down 3.4%. They were up over 9 for a number of months earlier this year, so it's dropped a decent amount, but we'll just have to see how that plays out. Along with this, the apartment condos were up a little bit, up to 458,000, and what we've seen is as people have exhausted their efforts to try and buy a freehold home, now all of a sudden we've seen the condo market start to pop up even more. So again, up 3.1% there in the apartment condo market. Semis in towns relatively unchanged, a little bit up and a little bit down there, but less than 2% either way on both of those, so nothing too crazy there. Interestingly, the end of May, the available listings were at 448. This was down 70% relative to our 10-year average. Now, I know when they looked at this, they really took out last year because of the timing with the pandemic. That kind of threw everything off. But pretty incredible just to show you how low the inventory is, down 70% on the 10-year average. So just interesting little tidbits there. Again, I'm still seeing lots of multiple offers, lots of frustration for buyers. I would say, however, we've probably dropped a little bit in some of the craziness. It's funny, someone asked me, about the market, and I said, oh yeah, in looking at some of the stats, there have been some decreases in the number of homes that we're selling for $200,000 or more over the asking price. So that was a victory for buyers, I guess, but. Certainly, yeah, a little bit less that way, I would say. Typically we're more, in the $50,000 over asking, anywhere to $150,000 over asking is fairly common. But we will still see some that are, at asking price or, just a little bit over asking price, and occasionally even below the asking price, but that's still a rare thing. So moving forward, we'll have to see what happens here again once the stress test comes into play. Once we get through the lockdown, we'll see what happens. But I don't anticipate a huge change in the market moving forward. So again, I know these stats don't tell the full tale. So if you're certainly curious how this relates to your home or your potential purchase, always happy to drill down a little deeper for an individual case by case type thing. So reach out if you have any questions about your place, if you're wanting to know how much your place is worth. So happy to do that. I think that's about it for now. Again, thanks for everyone who continues to pass my name on. Really appreciate it, and certainly helps my business. So take care, and we'll talk to you again next month.